All right, good morning. You got Dan and Josh here at Toxaway Lake in the Sawtooths. This is morning of day 6, episode 6 of our Sawtooth Thru-Hike. This is our last full day, so pretty soon, probably in the next hour and a half or so, our plan is to leave by 9, but we're going to head from here at Toxaway Lake to Alice Lake and go spend, our last full day. So should be about, give or take, a 5-mile trip with about 1,700 feet of elevation is kind of what we're estimating. So yeah, really pretty morning here. Mosquitoes are out full. They're pretty gnarly here. Yeah. But so yeah, just kind of had a really relaxing night. I think we both slept pretty well. Finally, just took about 5 or 6 days to actually get a good full night's sleep in. But other than that, that's kind of the plan today. I did want to mention to you guys too that our third hiking partner, Bob, who was in the first 3 days, who was injured and who we had to leave at camp because that was the decision we kind of came to. He made it down safely to the Grand Trailhead, and it sounds like we've been in communication with our Garmins with him that it sounds like he's maybe hitchhiking to the trailhead and is going to meet us there the morning that we get out on Wednesday. So everything is good there. Just wanted to keep you guys
safe and sound.
Yep, just wanted to keep you guys updated so we didn't leave our hiking partner stranded in the woods. So but yeah, all's good. So we're gonna eat some breakfast, get camp packed up, and then head for Alice. So we'll see you guys on the trail. Thanks for watching. All right, you guys, so it's about 9:20. We're running just a few minutes behind, but that is nothing new. That's kind of been the theme of this trip. But anyways, just wanted to show you what we're about to go do. So we're about to leave camp. So we are right here at Toxaway Lake. So essentially, we have about 5 miles down the Alice Lake, Redfish Lake Trail 92, all the way to Alice Lake. It'll be one of our shorter days. That's all we're doing. Hopefully find a good campsite. It's definitely one of the more popular campsites, so we're trying to get there somewhat early, but not sure if that's really a possibility now. But yeah, should just be there in a couple hours and see you on the trail. So I think we're headed right to that little saddle. I think that's the pass we're looking to get over to get to Alice. Doing good, feeling cool. Or am I? I just pulled that post hole all the way up to my waist. Okay, let's get out of this.
Oh, that guy sunk deep right there. And right there.
Really?
Oh, shit.
Okay. Oh. Oh, yeah. Well, so much for dry boots.
Oh yeah.
Alice Lake.
Hey, buddy.
Oh,
Welcome to camp.
this is a pretty sweet campsite.
Yeah, right on the point or peninsula, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so we just made it to Alice Lake, our very last campsite, our camp spot along this Sawtooth Thru-Hike. I'm sitting almost at 50 miles, and yeah, it's pretty awesome place to stay for the very last night. Yeah, we left from Toxaway this morning around 8:20, 8:30, I believe, and it's about 12:45 now. We went approximately 5 miles with about 1,700 feet of vertical gain, and it felt really good. Josh and I were just talking that today's like the first day that hiking kind of like clicked, like everything felt
like the stride, you were in stride with the hike.
Yeah, everything just felt good. So and also it's just nice to be here pretty early in the afternoon, because now we have a whole day to just sit and relax. And
yeah, comparative, the last few days have been long days of hikes.
Yeah,
so
it just feels like the last 3, basically since we left Sawtooth Lake, like we've been just like going. So now we have a little downtime, and I'm really looking forward to it. So probably just gonna eat some lunch, settle into camp, give you a big camp tour here in a little bit, and just kind of get on with the day. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you here in a little while. Okay, so this is the news that we just kind of received. So I've got a Garmin inReach, so I'm able to communicate with Tessa while I'm out on these trips, and she messaged me while we were hiking in saying that Bob got a hold of her, and basically it sounds like he is now hiking in here to Alice Lake to meet up with us. So what happened was he got injured at Barren Lakes. He hiked down to Grand Jean trailhead yesterday. I think he hitchhiked or found a ride
from the trailhead.
From what we know, and he made it all the way back down to the Pettit Lake or the Tin Cup hiker trailhead, and now it sounds like he's coming up. This
we
is
don't
like
know when, we don't know.
We have no idea. We know nothing else other than that. So I assume at some point Bob is just going to walk back into our camp and try to
We'll fill you in for the story on his side when we get it.
Basically, yeah. So you guys can be part of our drama, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just.
We're just happy that he's okay, that it's that his knee isn't to the point where he wasn't able to walk.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yep. So he didn't break it. I think he made the smart move and he didn't go any further. So, and that was.
We covered some pretty rough terrain between there and here.
Yep.
So.
That's
a good thing.
Yeah. So maybe at some point we'll watch for Bob, and for all we know, we'll probably just see him walking along the shoreline on the trail, and we'll have to yell at him to come and find us. So we're actually kind of tucked back here a little bit. So I don't know. We'll link up with him eventually. So anyways, just wanted to give you guys a little update. Bob's coming back, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, that's what we got.
Yep. Okay, so we're sitting around camp, and the man, the myth, the legend hobbles in. So kind of like we were explaining earlier, we weren't really planning on that happening, but here he is right in front of us, and apparently he's got a story to share. So,
all right. So, was it Saturday morning? Saturday or Sunday morning, we came up with a plan. I was gonna stay, rehab Sunday, and then hit the trail Monday, and work my way down. And you guys take off. Josh comes back over the mountain, comes into the campsite, and says, "I'm gonna stay with you." And I basically threw him out, yelled at him, and said, "Get your ass to meet Dan and hike with Dan, and make sure Dan gets to the FJ safe and sound."
That was true.
It's very true. So, after that, I felt kind of bad. I felt really bad about yelling at Josh, and I felt bad for the past couple days.
I was just trying to help, man.
But I, shortly after you guys left, and I was sitting around there by myself for a while, and it was lonely, and it was like,
oh boy.
What's that?
Nothing good.
It was lonely, and I was hurt, and I was sad. I was bummed because I couldn't hike and continue on with you guys. But it was a good plan that we came up with. And I just leg up on a rock, ice packed, and I just chased the shade. Chased the sunshine all morning, and then the afternoon I chased the shade all around the campsite. And by afternoon I felt pretty good. I was walking around the campsite. My leg was numb from ice. I iced probably hours and hours and hours, ice pack after ice pack after ice pack, and I did nothing.
Because you probably used snow, right?
Yeah,
Was around
snow
there.
in a Ziploc bag. And like you said, I should have started icing it that night.
Yeah.
But I was just too tired. I was spent.
I gotcha.
From clawing my way up that mountain.
Yeah.
I was like spent. And it felt like Saturday night getting into the lake, Barren Lake, it felt like every step was a hammer on the side of my knee. Just
Ouch.
a hammer. Just banging on the side of my knee with every step. But I felt pretty good in the evening, and I committed. I had everything pre-packed and ready to go. I was gonna hit the trail first thing in the morning. I woke up like when the sun came up, made some coffee, had everything pre-packed. I went through all of my gear Sunday like 6 times. Went through everything, repacked everything.
Nice.
I've had plenty of time to sit around and to chill out. I hit the trail at 8 o'clock. I felt good, handful of ibuprofen to start with breakfast. I'm not kidding, man.
Yeah.
I did. And I took off, and I moved about 1 mile an hour, 1 1/4 mile an hour all the way down.
Okay.
Got down to the trail junction where we had lunch about 1-ish, I guess.
Okay.
So 5-6 hours. Yeah, 5-6 hours. I stopped for a little bit to have some lunch. So that was 8 miles. Met a few people. I came across this guy named Keith, and he offered to carry my pack down to the campground.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's nice.
real nice guy. He was just in an RV, and
Is he day hiking?
he was just day hiking up, yeah, on the trail. And I told him, he's like, "What's your story?" Told him my story, and he's like, "Son of a bitch." He's like, "I'll take your pack and I'll pack it down to the campground."
Did he really?
No, he offered, but I wouldn't let him.
Oh, okay.
Like, no way. I'm like 20 miles on this bum knee. I'm not gonna have some old fella carry my backpack down. Like, no way, man. I appreciate it, but
All right. So then you make it down to the
so-
trailhead.
yep, I get down to the trailhead, at the campground trailhead, and that's where I meet Christy and Jamie. And Christy and Jamie is a mom and daughter, and they were really nice. And everybody's like, you just talk to everybody, and everybody wants to know your story, right? I told them I bummed my knee up, spent the day up there, finally making my way down, and I need to get to a phone, and I need to like find some help. And they're like great, like we're gonna help you, whatever you need.
Wow.
And so Jamie has a right bum knee, and I have a left bum knee, and she's like, I have an extra knee wrap.
Oh.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Saved
No
my
kidding.
ass. And,
Very cool.
And they said they're camping at the campground in space 11, so I went and set my tent up in space 10, and then
At Grand Jean?
at Grand Jean,
Okay.
yeah, I set a nice little campground. Set up in space 10, and then they were day hiking up the trail, and then I hoofed it to I got some water and hoofed it to the Sawtooth Lodge, which was like 2 miles.
Oh, okay.
Mile and a half by
Wow.
road, 2
Oh.
miles by trail along the river. So I hoofed it as best as I could down the trail, down the road to the lodge, and then convinced the kids to let me use their phone, which they were pretty nice.
Oh, okay.
Got their phone, called Julie. Yeah, and then I hiked back and met Jamie and Christy, and they invited me to stay in their campsite because I didn't have any cash to pay for a campsite. And so I camped with them. We had dinner, and then they just turned out they were going to day hike up here today.
Oh, no
And
kidding.
they said, "We'll drive you to we'll drive you
Really?
to Tin Cup Trail."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
They said, "Yeah, we're going to go day hike up to what lake?
Alice.
Is this? Alice Lake." But they didn't make it up because Jamie's knee was bothering her.
Oh.
So I camped with them, and we went out to breakfast this morning at the I treated him to breakfast this morning at the lodge in Stanley. I called your wife and talked to Julie again, yeah, I mean it's been quite the adventure.
Yeah.
No kidding.
How's your knee hiking up here?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this knee wrap, I wrapped it, and my knee was so solid
Yeah.
and stable that everything else started to hurt. I felt pains in my calves and my back, and my hips were sore. It's like my knee doesn't hurt, but everything else does.
All right.
All right. Well, that's the story.
That's kind of the story. Maybe it's not as exciting as
No, that sounds like quite an
to
adventure,
live
man.
it,
It's
you know,
it's kind of like The Hobbit, downplayed a little bit, you know.
definitely an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Morning coffee, right inside the tent.
He's no lunker, but
Oh.
they're pretty.
Yeah. All right, you guys, so that is it. And that's where I'm going to end episode 6 and day 6 of our Sawtooth Thru-Hike. Yeah, we got to Alice here. I think it was around noon or 1. I probably said it earlier in the video. I just don't quite remember right now. And I didn't film a whole lot throughout the day. It was really just kind of nice to sit back and relax and not have to worry about that next best shot, you know. But I think I got enough to kind of show you guys the lake and really how pretty it is, because it's a really nice lake. It's there's a reason it's pretty popular. This one's pretty close to the trailhead for Tin Cup trailhead, and yeah, and I can see why it gets the foot traffic that it does, because it is pretty. And we scored a pretty nice campsite. So yeah, it was overall a really good day. We were surprised with Bob showing up. Like, we weren't planning on that happening, but he did, and it was pretty nice to have him reunited for one last night out here. And I think he's really enjoyed being back, and I'm glad to see that his knee's feeling a little bit better. So yeah, so that's where I'm going to end it. Be sure to stay tuned for tomorrow as we pack up out of here at Alice Lake and head for the trailhead to finish this thru hike. Pretty excited to get this done. Yeah, been an awesome trip so far. So anyways, be sure to leave a thumbs up on this video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. We will see you guys all in the morning and tomorrow on episode 7. Thanks for watching.